Friends, Ghana's foreign minister traveled to Moscow and returned with many exciting announcements, right? Mr. Ablakwa did not return with just one ordinary diplomatic agreement. We will look into all of that shortly. But behind all these opportunities is one painful matter that we cannot ignore. 62 Ghanaians have reportedly died in Russia war against Ukraine. Another 15 remain missing. What did Ghana tell Russia about it? How did Russia respond? And did Russia actually agree to stop the recruitment of Ghanaians? We will come to that because the answer is not as straightforward as some of the headlines have made it appear. But first, let us examine what Ghana brought home from Moscow and whether this development can genuinely strengthen Ghana and West Africa.
Let me use this opportunity to thank Foreign Minister Lavrov for the very forward-looking nature of our discussions. It's been very sincere and very fruitful. We have just signed an agreement that will see holders of diplomatic and service passports of our two countries travel without visas. That is the basis of our new era of bilateral relations.
Now, the headline that first caught people's attention was the visa waiver agreement. And naturally, some people heard visa waiver and thought the Ghanaian passport had suddenly become a free ticket to Moscow. Well, not so fast. Before anyone begins packing a winter jacket and searching for a flight to Russia, there is one important detail you need to know. This agreement does not give every Ghanaian visa-free access to Russia. It mainly makes traveling easier for government officials and people traveling on official state duties. That may sound like a small benefit for privileged group, right? But there's a strategic purpose behind it. When ministers, technical experts in government agencies can travel more easily, negotiations can move faster. So now the corridor has been open for government officials. The question is, what will those officials carry through that corridor? It must eventually open economic and educational doors for Ghanaian businesses, researchers, students, and ordinary travelers. That is when we will experience the full benefits of this agreement. Guess what? Easier travel for government officials was not the most exciting opportunity to come out of Moscow, right?
I want to also use this opportunity to thank Russia for expanding scholarships for Ghanaian students. It used to be 120 scholarships per academic year. That has been doubled. And we want to convey our appreciation to President Putin and to Foreign Minister Lavrov for this good gesture. It's clear that I'm going home with a lot of positives from this official meeting. So the scholarships have now been doubled to 240. And I also like the fact that the areas for these scholarships are in the science and engineering fields, AI, robotics, and engineering fields. And that's priority areas for the government.
Russia is doubling its annual scholarship for Ghanaian students from 120 to 240. More importantly, the scholarships are expected to focus on the things that we need to develop. We are talking about artificial intelligence, we are talking about engineering, petroleum science, pharmaceuticals, and other technical areas Ghana needs the most. And for me, this is a serious opportunity. But we should not treat this scholarship as 240 individual success stories, right? They should be treated as 240 pieces of Ghana's industrial future. Because if Ghana intends to build a nuclear plant, some of these students should become the Ghanaian nuclear engineers and safety specialists who will operate it. If we want to process our own minerals, as we want the goldfield to leave us alone, some must become geologists, metallurgists, and industrial engineers. And if we want to manufacture medicines, we need pharmaceutical scientists working in Ghanaian laboratories and factories. But here is our familiar problem, and it is so painful. People travel abroad, acquire advanced knowledge, and return home only to realize that the opportunities to use those skills are limited. The laboratories are poorly equipped. The specialized industries do not exist. Research funding is inadequate, and the salaries are discouraging. After struggling for some time, many leave Ghana again to work in countries where their knowledge can actually be put to use. So we train the brain abroad and then force the brain to leave again because we fail to build a body in which it can work. So a scholarship policy without an industrial policy can easily become another country's skilled worker recruitment program. Ghana must therefore know before these students leave what we are training them to do, which national projects will need their expertise, and how we will retain them when they return. Otherwise, Russia will educate them, Ghana will welcome them briefly, and another developed country will eventually benefit from everything they have learned. And that is history. Somewhere inside the talk was a development much bigger than visa and scholarship. Guess what it is?
In our discussions today, we have also agreed to work on peace and security. You do know that the situation in the Sahel is becoming very precarious. That has become the global epicenter for terrorism, violent extremism, and we have agreed that we will work together with Russia to assist our brothers and sisters in the Sahelian countries of Niger, Burkina Faso, and Mali. The threats of terrorism, of violent extremism are not threats that can be resolved by single effort. It requires a multilateral, collective approach, and that is why President Mahama has been leading these efforts. And we see in Russia a reliable partner. Fortunately, Russia has enormous credibility in these AES countries. So we believe that when we work with Russia, we can have the necessary support of these AES countries.
Could Ghana be hoping that Moscow will quietly persuade Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger to move closer to ECOWAS again? That may be too simple an interpretation. But Russia now occupies a position in West Africa that Ghana cannot completely ignore. Russia may not be bringing the AES back into ECOWAS, no. But it may become one of the few outside powers capable of speaking comfortably to both sides. Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger have left ECOWAS and formed the Alliance of Sahel States, right? But they have not left West Africa. They remain our neighbors. Their people continue to trade with ECOWAS countries. Their trucks still need coastal roads and ports. Their insecurity can still spread towards Ghana, Cote d'Ivoire, Togo, and Benin. Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger may have left ECOWAS, but terrorism did not leave West Africa with them. When political anger prevents neighboring countries from coordinating their borders, terrorists benefit. And Ghana shares a border with Burkina Faso, so insecurity in Burkina Faso is not a distant Sahelian problem, right? It can affect communities in northern Ghana, increase displacement, disrupt trade, and threaten our national security, just as it happened to some tomatoes women not too long ago. So the economic consequences are equally important. A market woman in northern Ghana should not lose her livelihood because leaders in Accra, Abuja, Bamako, Ouagadougou, and Niamey cannot sit at the same table. This does not mean forcing the AES countries back into ECOWAS. No, some of us do not even want it. It can begin with just intelligence sharing, border security, counter-terrorism, trade corridors, free movement, and cooperation against trafficking and organized crime. Russia has offered to help normalize relations, right? Because Russia has strong relationships with the AES and is also pursuing security cooperation with ECOWAS. It may help open communication. But here is the thing. Africa must welcome assistance without outsourcing African reconciliation. Russia can help open the door, but Ghana, ECOWAS, and the AES and the African Union must walk through it themselves. Otherwise, what picture are we creating? Africans breaking their original organization and then waiting for a foreign power to come and put us back together. And this is my final take on this particular ECOWAS AES issue. A border created by colonial history should not become a wall built by African anger, right? We are too connected by geography, history, families, trade, and even danger to behave as though political disagreement has suddenly turned us into strangers. Let's keep that. But behind the visas, scholarship, and regional diplomacy was another discussion that received far less public attention. And strangely, it may be the decision that affects Ghana longer than everything else announced during the visit. Long after the current ministers have left office, long after today's visa agreement has been forgotten, and long after the scholarship numbers have changed, Ghana could still be living with the consequences of what was discussed. And I am talking about nuclear power. Ghana and Russia have agreed to deepen cooperation around Ghana's peaceful nuclear energy program, right? Russia's Rosatom is among companies from Russia, America, China, France, and South Korea competing for Ghana's first nuclear power project. And I'm so excited about this nuclear power project. Why does Ghana need nuclear power in the first place? This discussion is not only about keeping the light on in our homes. Ghana says it wants to industrialize, and we are all fighting for it, right? But industries consume enormous amounts of reliable electricity. Now, mineral processing plants need power. Aluminium production needs power. Pharmaceutical manufacturing, steel production, railways, and data centers all need stable electricity. So the real question is not simply, does Ghana have enough electricity today? It is, will Ghana's current electricity system be strong enough to power the industrial country we say we want to become? Now, nuclear power can provide us with that large amount of stable electricity day and night. But choosing a nuclear partner is not like buying a generator and changing the supplier when you are unhappy. The country that built Ghana's nuclear system could remain connected to our energy supply for 40, 50, or even 60 years. That relationship may involve financing, reactor technology, nuclear fuel, maintenance, safety system, waste management, training, and replacement parts. So Ghana is therefore not merely choosing a company to build a power plant and just go. We may be choosing a technological relationship that could last longer than many of us watching this video will be alive. This is where competition becomes valuable. Russia won the project. Could that be the reason why they invited us to deepen the friendship? America, China, France, and South Korea also want it. Ghana should make them compete, right? Make them compete on financing, make them compete on safety, make them compete on local jobs, technology transfer, and the number of Ghanaian engineers they will train. The company that wins should not only leave Ghana with a nuclear plant. No, it must leave us with Ghanaian nuclear engineers, Ghanaian technical capacity, and a clear path towards operating the system without permanent foreign dependency. We are tired. A nuclear plant should give Ghana greater energy independence. It should not exchange petroleum dependency for nuclear dependence. We are tired. Anyways, friends, before we describe this whole visit as a major diplomatic success, we have to return to the painful promise I made at the beginning of this video. Because what is the meaning of a new friendship if Ghanaian parents are still waiting for children who traveled to Russia and never returned? What is the value of 240 scholarships if other Ghanaian young people also searching for opportunities abroad are ending up on a battlefield? And this is not our war, yet Ghanaian families are mourning because of it.
We raised the matter of a growing number of Ghanaian youth who are being lured to fight in the Russia-Ukraine conflict. And we are seeing an increase in casualties. About 62 Ghanaians have lost their lives and 15 of them are missing. So I did raise the matter, and I'm happy with the response from Foreign Minister Lavrov, who has pledged that we can work together to stop these illegal recruitments happening on the blind side of our two governments, so that we can protect the lives of young people who are being lured on the front lines.
Russia, however, gave a different explanation. Mr. Lavrov said the Ghanaians involved had signed contracts with Russia's Ministry of Defense, some for financial reasons. He also said such contracts are controlled by the Defense Ministry and that special department would examine Ghana's request. Ghana also says Russia has pledged, or Mr. Ablakwa says Russia has pledged to work with us to stop the illegal enlistment. Now we need that promise to produce results. We need it to produce results. The remaining Ghanaians must be traced, and those who want to return must be assisted, just as we did to those in South Africa. And the people recruiting desperate young Ghanaians through false promises must be found and dealt with. Now, let me know what you think. Can Ghana turn these agreements into industries, skills, regional unity, and real power? And should Ghana trust Russia's promise to help stop the recruitment of our young people, or must we demand clearer action before celebrating this new relationship? Leave your thoughts in the comments section. My name is Mame Soma. If you enjoyed this analysis, kindly like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who believes Ghana must work with the world without surrendering its future. I'll see you in my next video. Bye.